6 for 7 from 3. Knicks down 1. Hart. Knicks up 1. 48 seconds left. Look at the score. The Knicks are up 2. Green going for the 3-point shot. Don't expect it, but it's Josh Hart, and then he wasn't done. One more. Nail in the coffin. Josh Hart with the big 3. It was the Josh Hart game. Our guy, Alan Hahn, caught up with it after a 26-point performance.
You've always talked about how when teams are going to leave you open, you have to make them pay. Is this something you've just been working on all season?
Yeah, because Joe and Pete, I've been working with them shooting every day. The first half I was ass. So I had, the second half I know how to bring it.
All right, well, this is the last game of the regular season against Boston. Do you expect to see them again this season?
Man, we'll see, man. That's a good team. Well coached. We always have battles, so we'll see.
I love that answer by Hart. If you didn't catch it, rewind it. Last night was the 52nd win this season. It was 52 victories for head coach Mike Brown. Most by a Knicks coach in their first season with the franchise. That's really what Pat Riley did in that 91-92 season. We bring in Brian Windhorst, and we've got Tim and Vince here. Wendy, we start with you. The biggest takeaway from last night's Knicks victory over the Celtics.
Well, this was a high-quality win. The Celtics were coming at them full blast in the second half. And if you're looking for a reason why the Knicks can make a playoff run, it's because of what they can do in clutch situations. I know you saw Hart and Towns finishing those plays, but it was Brunson who orchestrated it all. And defensively, they were able to get stops on Jason Tatum down the stretch. He did not score at all in the last 8 minutes, had several fourth-quarter turnovers. The Knicks can look you squarely in the eye and say, we can beat the Celtics. They are now 3-1 against them this season, and this win puts them basically in pole position to get the number 3 seed and be on the same side of the bracket as the Celtics in the playoffs. Boston can look back and say none of those wins happened with both Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown on the court, but potentially we could see another terrific series here, assuming the teams take care of their business between now and the second half.
That's a big point. Jaylen Brown did not play in the game last night. Both of you were in the building, in the garden, you in the locker room afterwards. Vince, what did you notice this game?
The lack of excitement from the Knicks locker room. They expected to win last night. I think we look at this from the outside as if the Knicks should have a fear factor of the Celtics for those very reasons. But the Knicks did beat this team last year in the postseason, and because of Tatum's injury, it kind of clouded the victory. But the Knicks were up 1 in that game. They had 2 comeback victories, and they've taken 3 out of 4. Like you said, the Knicks can close. They can close with Brunson. They can close with Towns on the glass. They can close with Mr. Robinson on the glass. They have more ways to actually beat you when they play their A game. Maybe even than the Celtics. They held Jason Tatum for 7 of 22. He was minus 16. That was kind of clouded into him coming back from the first game since his Achilles injury. But they held him in check. And I think that gives them an extra level of confidence. Well, at least it should.
Tim, yesterday we were previewing this game. We were like, well, what were the...
Boom, he jams it straight down. Wow, look at how quick he flashes to the rim there for the finish. Murray looking around. And Williamson.
Carl-Anthony Towns was big in the down the stretches.
Yeah, I mean, all year long, what have you as a Knicks fan and the other Knicks fans been waiting for? You're waiting to see Karl Towns and Jalen Brunson really work well together, right? Last night was the most on-ball screens and handoffs they've done together this season, basically the most actions they've done together, most points they've scored together this season. That is the formula the Knicks are going to need to make a deep playoff run. Jalen Brunson and Karl Towns powering an elite offense. Those guys, as we know, are not great defensive players, but they're 2 of the best offensive players in the league. When they're working like that, the Knicks have a chance. And by the way, we haven't really talked about Josh Hart. This year when Josh Hart's been guarded by a center, the Knicks offense has been a top 5 offense in the league. That's been a huge difference maker for them. That's what's going to happen in the playoffs. What happened last night? What did Josh Hart do? He hit those 2 big threes down the stretch. That is the formula. Last night's win, that's what the Knicks need to do if they're going to make the deep playoff run they want.
Wendy, before we ask another question, I want to go to the Celtics side of it. No Jaylen Brown, obviously. Shireman goes 6 for 7 from 3. What are you taking it from the Celtics side? Because they were trying to win that game.
Need help scaling your business? You need Upwork. With Upwork, you can find and hire hire freelance experts in over 125 categories. It's fast and simple. Tell us about your project, check reviews and work history, and with a little help from our advanced AI, you've got a highly skilled professional who can lend a hand. Or take the reins. Find the right experts. Scale on demand. Go to market faster. Go to Upwork.com to post a job for free.
Yeah, so Jaylen Brown took the game off to rest. Jason Tatum could have taken the game off to rest, but he actively wanted to get past the demons of coming back to the MSG court. The Celtics have done a great job developing their role players throughout the season. Shireman is another example of it. Really, the central question about the Celtics and whether they can win the East is, can those role players like Baylor Shireman, like Hugo Gonzalez, like Nikola Vucevic deliver in big moments like this in the playoffs? I suspect they walked away from last night's game not feeling too bad about themselves. Tatum handled the situation, he's got over the emotions. Shireman can rely on that performance when he's asked to do something like that again in the next couple of weeks.
Tim, what do you talk about? Yeah, I mean, like Vince said after the game, the Knicks were not really unbothered by that game in a positive way. The Celtics were not in a negative sense, right? The goal last night was to get Jason Tatum back at Madison Square Garden and feeling good, because with that win last night, it really does set up a very likely matchup in the second round between the Knicks and the Celtics, the series where Jason Tatum got hurt last year. To get that out of the way last night, to not have it be in the conference semifinals, I think was a huge thing for Boston. Yeah, it's going to come down to these role players on both sides. Can Josh Hart hit these shots like he did last night? Can Karl Towns and Jalen Brunson play like they did? If they can, Knicks can beat them.
You mentioned that the Knicks did win that series. They were also down 20 in 2 games on the road and found a way to win, and then Tatum goes down with the Achilles. Right now, vibe check. Who do you think has more juju going into the playoffs, those two teams?
Well, I think the Celtics have more juju because they feel like because they have Jason Tatum back there and not at full Voltron. But the Knicks, discovering Towns and Brunson operating together, I think that gives them a measure of confidence, because we've been asking for that for the last 2 years. When are these guys going to connect? When are they going to display some chemistry? And the Knicks are built in a way to beat the Celtics that they are not built to beat Detroit or any other team. When you got the wings of Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, and Josh Hart, you can defend. You can defend Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown and feel easy about it.
They were a team built to beat the Celtics. Exactly. And that's why they went and got these wings. And it was, again, it's fascinating. These are the two best games, the last 2 games against Atlanta and Boston, that Jalen Brunson and Karl Towns played all season. Again, that has to be the formula for the Knicks. Those guys killing it on offense.
Steph Curry is out, but still showing love to LeBron. Maybe we'll see them on the playoff court too. I don't know. We'll have to see how that works out, if we can figure out some sort of permutation there. Here's Bronny to LeBron to team dunk. But why is this significant? This is the first time ever that a son has had an assist to his father in an NBA game. We'll never forget where we were during that moment. LeBron James for 3 nails it. The Lakers are up, and then here the Warriors take the lead. But there's LeBron again, deep 3. Then we get the flipping around here. Lakers, LeBron looking, gives it to Bronny. That was the father-to-son play with the father-to-son assist. Lakers up. James for 3. We'll see them on the playoff court too. I don't know. We'll have to see how that works out, if we can figure out some sort of permutation there. Here's Bronny to LeBron through team dunk. But why is this significant? This is the first time ever that a son has had an assist to his father in an NBA game. We'll never forget where we were during that moment. LeBron James for 3 nails it. The Lakers are up, and then here the Warriors take the lead. But there's LeBron again, deep 3. Then we get the flipping around here. Lakers, LeBron looking, gives it to Bronny. That was the father-to-son play with the father-to-son assist. Lakers up 15. They would end up blowing the Warriors out. Look at LeBron. He just hammers it down. Vintage LeBron last night, the stat line at least, 26 points, 8 rebounds, 11 assists without the 2 other star players. Lakers win it 119-103. This is the first time in nearly a year and a half that LeBron has had back-to-back games with 25 points and 10 assists. Last night was also LeBron's 11th 25-point, 10-assist game since turning 40. It goes without saying no other player in NBA history has done that even once at 40 or older. We bring our NBA guys back in. Wendy, you know LeBron pretty well. What was your biggest takeaway from his performance last night?
Well, for more than 20 years, Peter, when LeBron James teams are in trouble, you go to the basics, which is spread the floor, give the ball to LeBron at the top of the key, and let him find the best play, whether it's for himself or others. And that's essentially what the Lakers' game plan was last night. That's what the Lakers' game plan is going to be going into the playoffs. Look, there are situations where there could be much worse than this. This is a pretty good option to go to. That's why you've seen LeBron's assists immediately elevate going to this system. Whether or not he can do this against a very formidable Houston defense that will key everything on him and try to keep him out of the lane and try to wear him down at both ends of the court at 41 years old, that's where the rubber is going to meet the road in the playoffs.
Vince, if I'm watching this as a Lakers fan, they've lost 3 straight games. We don't have Reeves. We don't have Luka. This is like the zombie Warriors. I encourage you, okay, that's one where it's like that means nothing at all. I'm going to talk about the playoff.
Well, if you lost the game, then it would have been disastrous. So to have that type of win, because LeBron, one thing LeBron is great at is he doesn't wait for guys to set themselves up. He made sure that those guys got the ball in early offense. And against a team like Houston, who is very good defensively, let's say that's the playoff matchup, they're going to have to be an opportunistic scoring team. And for LeBron to be able, in one game in a series, let's say it's game 2 in Houston, if you steal a game and then all of a sudden you go back to LA, they could be at home for game 1 and 2, but let's just say that's the situation. LeBron steals you a game at home on the road, and then you set yourselves up. You're in an advantageous position. LeBron can get you a game in a series. I don't know if he can get you 4, but he can get you a game. Who's better third option than LeBron James even at this stage of his career?
And Tim, you do the playoff permutations and the matchups in such an expert way. What do we see from LeBron as far as the matchups go right now in the Western Conference?
Well, a lot of this is going to come down to tonight's game between the Lakers and the Suns. Suns have nothing to play for. The Lakers, obviously, we'll see if LeBron James plays second night of a back-to-back at 41 for a guy who has to really carry the load, at least in the first round, while Luka and Austin are out. But the Lakers win this game tonight. They're playing the Utah Jazz on Sunday. Newsflash. They're going to win that game on Sunday. The Utah Jazz are not going to lose. So
not going to win.
They're not going to lose by making sure they do lose. So it sets up a fascinating game on Sunday between the Denver Nuggets and the San Antonio Spurs. Who, by the way, Denver's playing Oklahoma City tonight. Oklahoma City's going to make sure Denver wins because they want them on the other side of the bracket. And that sets up a chance for the Spurs on Sunday to, if they win that game, make sure Denver's on the other side of the bracket. And they get the Lakers or a wounded Minnesota team in the second round of the playoffs. So there's a lot that's going to happen this weekend in terms of where the seedings line up. But a lot of it comes down to this game tonight if the Lakers get a win over Phoenix.
Wendy, should the Lakers be fearing Houston? Like, is that the team they're trying to avoid right now in the first round?
We need someone who can code in COBOL. What's COBOL?
Indeed can help you get it right the first time. Sponsor your job on Indeed and get matched with quality candidates. Visit Indeed.com/hire now.
Planning to move? Choose Pods, the most awarded container moving company. Pods brings the container to you, then we'll take it to your new home or store it at a secure pod storage center. And you don't have to do the driving. Trust Pods with your next move. Look at pods.com.
They don't have a choice. They're going to almost certainly play Houston in the first round. There is what Bontemps just described, a window for the Nuggets to fall back to fourth. What the Lakers have in their hands right now, Peter, is the chance to have home court. I really didn't think that was going to happen 3 or 4 days ago when we got the injury report on Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic. But if they can beat the Suns tonight and Devin Booker is not playing in that game and at least have home court in that first round series, and if you're trying to construct a way that they can stay in this long enough to get Luka back, it starts with being able to have home court in that first round. Lakers getting that win tonight or last night really changed their situation.
Real quick for the viewers at home, Wendy, the prognosis on those two, Reeves and Luka, just real quick if we can, so we can kind of visualize when we would get them back.
Yeah, they have grade 2 injuries. These are weeks-long injuries. Now, I am not going to sit here and tell you anybody on the planet is going to know how a soft tissue injury is going to feel 2 weeks from now. So is it impossible that they come back in the first round? No, but it's definitely going to be weeks from now. And for the Lakers to get them back, they're going to have to extend a first-round series. And the way you do that, Peter, get home court. The way the Lakers get home court, win tonight and Sunday.
Yeah, speaking of the Rockets, who might be their opponent, our next stop is Houston, where they rattled off another win. Their 8th straight victory behind a 29-point, 7-rebound, 5-assist night from Kevin Durant. He was awesome again. Houston has scored 110 points in all 8 of these victories on this streak, during which time they've climbed all the way to 5th in the Western Conference standings. They're 51-29. Windy, why are these Rockets so dangerous and peaking at the right time?
Well, 2 weeks ago, they lost the double home game to the Lakers and looked like they were going nowhere fast, and their offense was DOA. They had a team meeting. They have started passing the ball dramatically more over this 8-game win streak. They're throwing about 20 more passes per game than they did in the first 70 games of the season. They've caught a nice portion of schedule, and now all of a sudden, with the Lakers getting hurt in front of them, they're potentially facing a wounded Lakers team, and if the Lakers lose another game, the Rockets could end up with home court. Now, I got to tell you, Bontemps caught me by surprise today when he laid out with the situation where Denver and San Antonio. Denver has won 10 games in a row. I think they probably get that 3 seed, and that would not be good for Houston if Denver comes back. But Houston, with this winning streak, not only amping up their offense, but they could end up in a very advantageous matchup with the Lakers in the first round. And now Houston is looking at maybe making a playoff run.
Oh, this is so good. Vince, who was the biggest winner last?
The champions, Oklahoma City, because 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, a month ago, we were looking at their path to the NBA Finals being treacherous, right? They could have played Minnesota in the second round. They could have played Denver in the second round. Now they're going to cakewalk through the first round, and then they're going to possibly play the winner of Houston or LA. Let's say LA gets out of the first round. We've seen what they've done to the Lakers. Even if Luka and Reeves are back, they're not going to be the fullest version of themselves coming back from grade 2 soft tissue injuries. In other words, they're going to cakewalk to the Western Conference Finals while Denver and San Antonio beat each other up through 7 games possibly. Rest is going to be premium, and they're going to be sitting back licking their chops while everybody else is just battling it out.
And by the way, if they do get Houston in the second round, assuming they do, Houston's been a terrible team in the clutch all year, and the Thunder, by the way, have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, likely to win the second straight MVP, and his money in those situations.
That's closer. Real quick, we got some crazy news with the Sixers. Tim, take us through what's going on with Joel Embiid.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday about 1:30, Joel goes on the injury report with an illness. He's out for the game. 90 minutes later, you find out he has appendicitis, an emergency appendectomy in Houston. I mean, I had several texts from people around the league come in. They all said the same thing, which is you can't make this bleep up. Like it just, people feel so bad. Like Joel Embiid, I think Tim McMahon said on TV yesterday that he might be the unluckiest player in the history of the league. When you go through all the things that have happened to this guy. I mean, 2 years ago, they played the Knicks in the first round. He has Bell's palsy, which most people never even heard of, and half his face was frozen. He still had like 35-10 in the series, right? Like, it's unbelievable the amount of things that have happened to this guy, and now he's probably going to miss the rest of the season.
All right.
That was another break for Houston, Peter. That game last night was potentially a vitally important game for the 76ers. Houston ends up getting to play them without Joel Embiid in the shock move during the day. Just a huge turn of events. The 76ers are potentially now facing being in the play-in because they didn't win that game last night.
Yeah, and just a bummer. We like seeing our stars on the court, and we wish the best to Joel Embiid.
When I started my record label, the business side of things, taxes, finances, definitely felt like adulting. But just because you start your own thing doesn't mean you have to figure it out on your own. It's been amazing to have a TurboTax expert to bounce ideas off of. Even if I'm in the studio alone at night, I have access to a TurboTax expert. I handle the music, they handle the tax questions.
File your taxes with confidence with TurboTax experts.
Brandon Coley to
Blonsky Auto Body, LLC.
What did she call her? Oh, we actually sold the twins naming rights.
Yeah, like stadiums do. Very lucrative.
Oasis Breeze.
Oh, he's not. He's trash.
It's time for Coast to Coast, checking in on what playoff seeds were locked in last night. Starting in LA, the Thunder beat the Clippers to clinch the top spot in the West and home court throughout the playoffs. It's their third straight postseason at the top of the Western Conference. Tim, do people appreciate this dominance for the 3-year run?
Yeah, listen, let's talk about the last 2 years. Only the Jordan Bulls and the Prime Step Warriors have more wins over a 2-year span than Oklahoma City Thunder. Clinched the top overall seed again. 19-1 in the last 20 games, rolling right into the playoffs.
In Orlando, the Timberwolves lost to the Magic. That locks them into the 6th seed. Ant, Randall, Engelbert all set out. Perk, what's your outlook for Minnesota in the post?
I don't know. They're the biggest mystery in the Western Conference. We're talking about a team that went to the conference finals last year, expected to take that leap, but been inconsistent, especially on the defensive side. Can Julius Randle be a Robin? Is Rudy going to be that defensive player that we know is standing proud about the damn basketball?
In Phoenix, Suns beat the Mavs. Check Kaman Malawach's block on his former Duke teammate Cooper Flagg. Not up in here. Suns lock up the 7th seed. Phoenix will host either the Clippers or Blazers to start the play-in tourney. Tim, which matchup do you want to see?
You know, here's the deal. I really think about which Clippers matchup do I want to see. Kawhi going back and playing against the Spurs for the first time in the playoffs since he left, or Shea versus the Clippers. Flip a coin. Either one will be fun. Thanks.
Right, we have news out of the Bay. Steph Curry is out tonight against the Lakers. He played the last 2 games after missing the previous 27 games with a knee issue. The Warriors are on the front end of a back-to-back with just 3 games left in the regular season. So, with LeBron James in town facing the Warriors, we have both Anthony Slater and Dave McMenamin, who will be at the Chase Center tonight as well. So let's start with the home team, fellas. Steph is out. So, Anthony, what's the plan for him this weekend?
We're ruining some entertainment value, right? We're going to get 0 LeBron James against Steph Curry games this season. But, the Warriors always plan to rest them on one side of this back-to-back, obviously coming off this knee injury that forced them out 27 games. They decided late morning today they prefer to play him tomorrow night in Sacramento against the Clippers or
Now, completely different than what he was doing. Chins and long defensive rebounds on the Western Conference bracket.
For the Lakers, Perk. So with Luka and Reeves out for the foreseeable future, do you see them running it back next year?
Bro,
Why can't you say that?
Not with the Lakers. Not with the Lakers, and he shouldn't. It's time for them to part ways. And yes, I understand a lot of whispers that he could be going back to Cleveland, but I've been wanting to get this off my chest.
Please, safe space.
If I'm Braun, I would really, really consider going to play my last year with the New York Knicks. Could you imagine what that would do for the game of basketball, for the NBA? When you talk about the economic side of things, how much money that's going to bring to the table. But Braun finishing out his career in the Mecca, in Madison Square Garden, and on top of that, the Knicks still have a roster where you add a LeBron James, yeah, you might have to give up some pieces. You going out, but still having a legit shot at making a championship run. So if I'm Braun, I'm weighing all my options. I'm out in the World Wide West and Leon Rose and seeing what's happening. Big Body Brunson, I know you got to lock in on the postseason, but if you're watching this, think about this for a minute. You know what I mean? Get a chance to still play with LeBron James. I know he's on his way out, but he still got a lot left in the tank. He still could go out there and give you 25 and 5.
I'm not ready to eliminate the Lakers as a possibility. Now, hey, at the All-Star break, I would have said no way in hell. They need to move past LeBron to restructure that roster. Now I think it comes down to what kind of deal, how much of a financial haircut
Is LeBron willing to accept? Remember, they went 15-2 in March. They had that pecking order. He was thriving as that third option. He still had all the business interests here. He still got his son on the roster. I'm not ready to completely rule out LeBron, but they need a lot of that salary that he's making to put other places to build out that supporting cast. It ain't good enough right now.
Because LeBron coming back to the Lakers does absolutely nothing for Bron. I mean, if you want to go out, you want to go out with a bang.
So they can't, they don't have any bang around here.
Well, I mean, I'm saying you either want to go back to the start net in Cleveland, or again, go test the waters out there in New York. And, you talk about a pay cut, but can you imagine how much money LeBron James will make in the city, in New York City? I mean, just think about it for a second. And then we'll talk about it after the show.
No, because that makes me upset. Welcome again, our senior writer, the one and only Tim McMahon, is here with us to join the conversation. Kirk, I'm going to start with you here. Let's at the conference as a whole. You said yesterday, right here, that Donovan Mitchell is under the most pressure this postseason. What is that?
Did I lie? I mean, did I tell a lie?
We can disagree. I believe you were honest in your assessment.
Well, I mean, when you look at all the young superstars around the league, he's the one, to me, under the most pressure. Again, one could argue that the Cavs has done more for him than they did for LeBron James, for put the personnel around him so that he can have a legit shot to making a legitimate run. Again, Donovan Mitchell has never led the team to a conference finals. Donovan Mitchell has never played with a guy like James Harden in the backcourt, because James Harden has become one of the best facilitators. And so now I'm looking for Donovan Mitchell to take that leap, not only just as a player and a playmaker, but as a leader. Right? Can you get the best out of Jared Allen and Evan Mobley defensively? Can you bring that dog out of them defensively? Because it's going to be easy.
To your point, though, Tim, you said you disagree with him.
Well, listen, here's the deal. The Knicks are always under the most pressure, okay? Just because of the circumstances that they exist in, especially the conference finals wasn't enough. They broke through, got the conference finals. That just got their coach fired. So conference finals isn't enough. The expectations are finals or bust. That's very clear. And Karl Anthony Towns is not the face of the franchise, but he is the guy who is under the most pressure. There's been a disconnect between him and the group coach Mike Brown all season long. Too often he is not involved at all in the offense. And if they don't break through, what's next for Cat? It might be a relocation.
Well, let me say this. I don't disagree with you for Cat, and it might be being a relocation, but when you talk about pressure for the Knicks, I feel like the pressure leans more towards Mike Brown. Because the one thing that the Knicks have struggled with this entire season, they've been up and down. They identity crisis. We knew who they were under Tom Thibodeau. We knew that every single night they were going to lock in defensively and they was going to play their hardest brand of basketball. The thing with Mike Brown is that him and Cat relationship has been up and down. It's been a roller coaster all season long. I don't want to see Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby and Josh Hart initiating offense. The 1-2 punch is Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns. When you get Karl Anthony Towns involved early, you're going to get the best version of him. He's the emotional guy, and like I always say, some people just want to feel love. He's one of those guys that just want to feel love.
They love to feel you. All right, the former and directly from the source yesterday, in case you missed it, Tyrese Halliburton posted about playing 5-on-5 today for the first time since June. That's 291 days ago, Kirk.
I mean, look, shout out to Tyrese. The good thing about it is that he don't have to worry about the postseason.
Johnson's got the first points of the third quarter up on the board for Houston. Thompson against Murray. Pass to Jones. 6 to shoot. 2 free throws coming up, and they call the shooting foul.
Becoming a more consistent offensive weapon. Murray finding ways to contribute.
For New Orleans, they have gone 2 for 3 at the foul line. Here's Hastings. Covered by Williamson. And the call on the shot that sends him to the line. For Houston, that is 75% of the
I'm outside, skin showing, flowing like a sick Floyd, chain shining, big glowing, every time with every outfit feel like a big moment, 458, different traffic, big showing, damn. I make the minor movies, much the big ones. I got 5 solid coach niggas that show that run. And I got you saying, Tori, which one? Going off at this one. Not gonna listen. Yeah, money still off of the wall. I'm still on top when I fall. I'm still ending the call and saying you dropping the call. I ain't square 30K, trillion watts on my jaw. But pussy wet when she see me, she still hot when I stall. Treading more times this year than whatever's hot in the fall. Whatever's hot in the summer. Me, I am not for the slumber. Me, I am not for the slander. All the paparazzi fake, moving the propaganda. I'm barely used to this Hollywood shit. I was popping my hammer. Niggas been pulling out blocks. Young niggas pulling out cameras. Young niggas pulling out panels. The Doris Rage, calling in man, the whole family. One umbrella's mine and you should get your own family. I'm not a baby, you can't spray me with your own candy. Hey, you just don't wait, my fucking flow standing. Yeah, like it's the God, so baby you off. Y'all couldn't see me even if I was sniping you off. Getting headshots from a bitch like a snipe in the wall. Feeling over 5 mil, declining the call. Red and blue speaks in the Jeep, who's side of my heart. The times I know I was right in my wrongs. Yeah. My song. Bitches out my bed the last 10 years. I ain't spent a night on my own. We don't right in my home. Just right in my wrongs. Playing my life in these songs. I need a wife, making feel good wife in the home. On these beats, playing tough guys and types if I'm wrong. Ain't no Steph Curry, but I'm out here stepping and breathe. Neck wearing bezels that freeze. Just used to tell me all the things that I never could be. Never be a doctor or the pharmacy and invest in the cheese. Who's now you gotta watch it? Who now you gotta stop it? Who now you gotta take back that stupid ass shit you talking? Moving like this monkey. Young Richie Cosby, tell him to get off me.
Rockets trail by 3. Hastings the pass to Van Fleet. And here's Reeves outside. And he's good on the 3-ball. Reeves has got 6 points.
It's the confidence of Austin Reeves. He just knows what his shot is.
And Fred Van Vliet is going to pick up a foul. That'll be his second foul of the game. And the Pelicans
Like Athens, Healthcare.gov is here for you. Like it's there for Marcus. Even though he lost his job, he's not worried about finding a new health plan anymore. They are moving to wait.
action on the court. That's his first foul. Kevon Looney is checked in for New Orleans. For just over a minute into this final quarter play. And lead against Looney.
So this is up to date, right? Mostly, at my last job, we used a tool called Scribe software, honestly, it makes things so much easier. Scribe? What's that? Well, it's this tool that creates step-by-step guides while you're doing a task. It automatically documents every step I take, and adds screenshots. In this, it gets 10 hours on it, right? But it's literally just what I did 5 seconds ago. Hi, everyone. We're using Scribe for everything now. Like Scribe, and with this outdated logic and smart documentation.
It works well there. Not much resistance from the D.
Yeah, that just comes down to a lack of effort. The defender has to do
Get food for now. And groceries for later. All delivered to your door. Download the app today.
And we've got a timeout called from Nba2k26. He's clearly intent on wanting to lock in and make sure everyone's on the same page.
Patient with me, even when you don't want me. I'll wait, patient with you. As long as you're patient with me, I like the way you do it. But your patience, patience. I like the way you talk. I love that you have patient with me, even when you don't want me. I'll wait, patient with you. As long as you're patient with me, I like the way you do it. I like your patience, patience. I like the way you talk. I love that you have patience.
eyes. Oh no. All I know is you got patience. You got patience. You got patience. You got patience.
So for the Pelicans, Zion Williamson's checked in for Kevon Looney, and it's Poole in for Fears. The Rockets also changing it up. Şengün's checked in for Steven Adams. Kevin Durant comes in for Hastings. And it's Austin Reeves in for Fred VanVleet. And now let's swing it over to Allie LaForce on the sideline.
Well, over the break, I listened to Ime Udoka's huddle. Coach telling their team, this is a tight one. We need full effort defensively, 1 or 2 stops, and we will win this game. A coach preaching defense, a familiar.
I really like my doctor, and I love
Philadelphia 76ers star.
Tune.
All right, Allie, thank you. Pass to Queen. Back to Murray. The Rockets pull it in. Şengün's got his 7th rebound here tonight. Williamson against Smith. There's Bay. Good, and the assist goes to Williamson. Williamson's got 3 assists tonight.
Showing the range. How about Bay taking and making his fair share on those triples?
Now, here's Thompson. And it's Thompson with the jam.
Just the kind of play they need in a game this close.
You know, that's the kind of aggression they want from their floor leader.
No doubt. That's the kind of play that can energize the whole team, and they will take it in a close game like this.
So it's the Pelicans now. The Rockets making the shot. Puts it right back up and in.
Oh, we've seen it before, and we'll continue to see it from Poole. There is no sweat from this man in a big moment like this.
Here's Smith. And the layup is off. 4th quarter of play, and over 3.5 minutes have gone by. Now Poole to take the lead. Şengün with the rebound.
Locking the arc down. Defense knows it's on them to scare off those shots.
Durant uses his size and close.
They needed points, and KD comes through. Who else did you expect?
And timeout is called by Ime Udoka. And clearly an important juncture. He's going to have some choice words with his team. Hastings, he's checked in for Houston.
One shot.
See, it's easy to see why his teammates trust him. He's a leader on this team and loves coming up huge in the clutch.
Now, Misi. And it's blocked by Şengün.
It's good to see Şengün come up with that spot. When he's engaged, he can be an impactful rim protector.
Oh, rising and punching it on the young fella. You know he loves having that much of a height advantage. Best chance to get yourself on the highlight reel.
And that great replay brought to us by the AT&T Connected Cam. Now here's Murray. From deep. And it doesn't go.
You know, the ill-advised threes isn't how you want to close the gap. You've got to have better shot selection.
No good. And so it's Jones. They'll bring it up for the New Orleans Pelicans. It's a 5-point game. Outside, Murray. Here's Williamson from outside. Reeves rips down the ball.
It's almost like he's trying to make things hard on himself. You know, he's just got to slow the game down, try to get some easy.
Outside, Durant. Catch up a 3. Durant, money. from deep.
This demonstrates leadership. Durant knows his teammates look for him to score and score often.
Murray, big time move inside.
Coming up clutch. Murray loves having the spotlight on him.
And he commits the intentional foul. What a great look here at this tremendous move from our AT&T Connected Cam point of view. That'll be a 5-second call. And so James Borrego decides to call timeout. He made the decision to huddle up with his guys and talk about strategy. Seconds left here in the fourth quarter. Spins from 18 feet away. The shot is off.
If he gets that look again, he should take it. You can't let one miss scare you off of a very good shot.
And so they choose to intentionally foul. So the first one drops, and that makes it a 7-point lead.
Undrafted out of college, Austin Reeves has beat the odds and become an outstanding player.
Not enough ticks left on the clock to save them tonight.
Yeah, they got to be disappointed with this result.
And they can just let the clock run out here.
Cannot argue with the W.
Let's lose a three. The putback. Oh, sticks the putback. So we see the Rockets taking the win here. Things were looking bleak for them, obviously, coming into this game. But with tonight's win, Greg, they are right back in it.
And that's the fight. We hope you enjoyed.
Good stuff, Allie. Thanks. Well, that'll do it for now. Glad you could join us for the...
The Western Conference NBA Playoffs, Round 1 continues. The Rockets have a battle ahead. Can they even the series at 2 games apiece? They know they can win, and now must rise to the occasion with millions of fans looking on as they square off against the New Orleans Pelicans. Round 1 of the NBA Playoffs continues.
Great to have you with us. Game 4 of Round 1 in the West. We're happy to bring it to you live on 2K Sports. I'm Brian Anderson with Stan Van Gundy and Hall of Famer Grant Hill. Allie LaForce will be reporting from the sidelines. So the Houston starting 5. We've got Austin Reeves. He's out there with Amen Thompson. Kevin Durant is out there with Alperen Şengün. And it's Hastings in at the 4. And for the Pelicans, Jones at small forward with Zion holding down the 4. Murray out there with Trey Murphy, and it's Jordan in at the center, locking down the middle. You look at New Orleans, they'll be pouring their hearts into this game, hoping to take a commanding lead.
This is indeed their best chance to take control of this series. It should be an intense game.
Now here's Williamson, tightly guarded. And the rebound goes to the Rockets. Here's Hastings. Oh, look out!
Wow! Are you kidding? A savage reverse jam. That takes great body control.
No question. He was making a statement right there, man. Here's Murray. In tight, he gets the jumper to fall.
And Murray, with his length and explosiveness, able to flourish in the paint.
The kick to Durant. Here's Reeves, and he dunks it down.
Oh, that was nasty. A two-hand mega slam.
Man, I don't think anyone was going to stop him there. And here are the Pelicans now. Williamson looking around. Here's Jones. Some nice passing by New Orleans here. And off there, he misses his first shot of the night. Here's Hastings. To the left side wing. Cuts off the pass. Pass break. Here we go.
You see the full strength and athleticism of Murphy on this play.
And it's Houston's ball. Time now to hear from our reporter, Allie LaForce.
I had a chance to catch up with James Borrego. I wanted to know what he had in store for Kevin Durant. He said, we have some plans. Coach said with a smile, but mostly it's about effort. We have to outwork him at all times. If we give him an inch, he's going to take a mile. So Coach is asking for his guys to go all out and try to slow KD down tonight. Back over to you, BA.
Good job there, Allie. Thanks.
3 out of 3. Perfect start. Let's see how long they can ride this wave.
Outside Murray. Five to shoot. And the go-ahead bucket, no good. The Rockets have gone 3 of 3 so far from the floor to the paint. Oh, deflected. Williamson outside. Hastings with a rebound.
Despite the miss, those are the kind of looks coaches hope to create.
Williamson against Thompson. That one drops for him.
Well, this offense is off to an outstanding start. They're communicating, executing, and finding great shots.
Now here's Murray. On the wing, Jones. It's good. And the assist goes to Murray.
And Jones has made huge strides as a three-point shooter since his rookie season. He's now a serious threat from out there.
Thompson with it, defended by Murray. Out of bounds. New Orleans will have it. Smith, he's checked in for Houston. Fred VanVleet comes in for Thompson. And we're just over 3.5.